Okay, let us continue. Professor Fahal, training in medicine at the University of Khartoum, Sudan. He then pursued his postgraduate surgical training in Khartoum and London, leading to a consultant surgeon position at Soba University Hospital, Sudan. He is a professor of surgery with a special interest and track record in endocrine, breast, and tropical surgery, especially myetoma. He has written a chapter on myetoma in Bailey and Love textbook. This is a very famous textbook, a surgery reference. He is a high-volume researcher in myetoma. He published than 500 articles, 300 of them about myetoma. Peer-reviewed articles and edited a book on myetoma and textbooks and chapters. He is involved in collaborative research work in myetoma with many national and international institutes. He is the director of the Myetoma Research Center, University of Khartoum, and Myetoma Control Program, Ministry of Health, Sudan. He has a broad member and reviewer for many national and international scientific journals. He is a member of many national and international academic and scientific associations and societies. He is a vice president of the Federation of Arab Scientific Research Council. Professor Fahal received several awards. Let us welcome Professor Fahal. Welcome, Professor. And we apologize.
Nice city and this nice university, and I would like to acknowledge the hospitality and the kindness of the senior staff at the college for the very welcoming reception and hospitality. This is Khartoum, and this is Sudan, and this is the junction between the White Nile and the Blue Nile. It's a very nice scenery. I hope you can come and see us there soon after this conflict ceases, inshallah. As mentioned, my name is Professor Fahal. I'm a professor of surgery at the University of Khartoum and the director of the Myetoma Research Center, Sudan. I'm going to talk about research funding opportunities. And this is an important issue. If you want to do a very good research, you need to have funding for your research. If you want to develop the university, you have to find funding to develop the university at this site. So the funding is a very important issue for different aspects of this. First, I would like to declare there is no conflict of interest in these presentations. All images were taken after consent from patients or from open resources. Do you think, who is this? Who is this? This is we are. Okay? All of us, they want to be a good teachers. They want to teach properly. Many of us, like Professor Muhammad, want to be a good administrator. A lot of us would like to have a community engagement activities, and this is very important for us as a teacher at universities and institutes. We have a lot of social obligations, and we have to respond to these social obligations, and at last we think of doing a good research. But as a university, as institute, as research centers, we need to have all these legs are equal. Otherwise, the chair will fall. And that will be a big problem. You can be a good teacher, but you have no research. You can be a good researcher without having a good teaching abilities and this. So I think the four legs of the chair should be equal to avoid falling out of the chair like this. In Sudan, we have the late Professor Al-Hassan. He was the best ever teacher. You can never forget his teachers, his lectures and teaching activities. He was a very good researcher. He published a lot in different aspects of the knowledge, more than 300 publications. He was a very good community engagement. He was the first to go to the field and see the patient at the field level, to talk to them, work with them, and to treat them at the level of the field at this site. And he was a good administrator, and he was the first founder of the Ministry of Higher Education and Scientific Research in Sudan. So the four legs of the care were equal. He managed to get all the available under and postgraduate awards and prizes, and he managed to have a best center for Kalazar in one of the very rural areas at the border between Sudan and Ethiopia. That center, he treats patients there, he teaches students, he do a research there, and he did a lot of community activities there. So he managed to have the four legs of the care equal, and he was a unique of his time. No doubt, scientific research is important for national development. All the countries that develop by good scientific research. The Far East, the Japan, the States, they did a good research, and the evidence of the research was used for control programs, for activities, for this and this and this. So research is important for the nation and the institute and the personal development activities. Otherwise, without having good research, you will end in a problem like this. All right? You're always looking at other people doing, and you are very much impressed about what they are doing. You are using their products, and this is a difficult situation. So, without having our own research, our own evidence, we will be always looking after other people's products, trying to get it. And that will lead to a lot of problems with our situation at that side. Good research means good training. You cannot do a good research without good training. You cannot do a good research without good infrastructures. This morning we saw the lab has a very good infrastructure and can be developed further to have more a good research done at that center. So this morning. Again, you have a good environment, you need to have a good collaboration and a good team, and you need to have a good funding for your research. You cannot do a good research without good funding for this. Not $1. We're talking about billion and billion of dollars. So the main objective of this presentation is it possible to get a good funding for our research or not? So at the end of this presentation, together we can answer this question. Right. So the outline of this presentation will be what is funding for research, why it is important, who can do it, where and when and how we can do the funding for this. So hopefully in this presentation I'm going to concentrate on how we can get funding for our research at this site. Right, funding for research. By funding for research, we are talking about not $5,000. We are talking about $6-7 million per project. Nowadays, you can get a project and can be funded for 6, 7, 8 million euros, dollars, or pounds. So let us think out of the box and let us see how we can get this money. Believe me, the money is there. There's a lot of money available for research, but we don't know how we can get this money. How can we tap this money for our research? In many institutes, researchers can get up to 20, 30, 50 million of euros, pounds, dollars, for their research. And you have a very good examples for this. This is Newton. I am sure he will going to think separately and differently when now looking for research funding for his work. So number one, to get a good research, you would be part of the research environment. And this is crucial, and this is very important to be part of the research environment. What do you mean by research environment? Research environment, I mean that we be part of the research culture. We should equip ourselves with a very excellent CV, excellent communication with different researchers, different institutes. We should have a very good consortium, excellent collaboration between different universities, different institutes, different centers, nationally, internationally, and regionally. And we should be committed to do a good research. And we call it the 5 C's. Excellent CVs, excellent communication, excellent consortium, collaboration, and commitment for the research itself. Right. By being part of the research environment, we should be in the mailing list of many of these international funding bodies. They will tell you there is a funding coming after 2 months. This is coming. Be aware of our new project, how we can do, and this and this and this. So again, we should be part of the mailing list of many of these international funding bodies at this site. This is one of our young colleagues. She have a 0 research impact that time, but in spite of that, she had a page at the research gate. And this is one of the visibility to be known for other researchers, to be part of the international research environment like this. You need to have, for example, a page on the Google Scholar. So people, they know you. People can contact you. When you ask for funding, the donor know that you have experience in research, you have an activity, this is our publications, this is your H index, and this and this. So everybody of us should have a page in the Google Scholar, ResearchGate, Scopus, a lot of research environment and platform should be available for us to make ourselves available. Sometimes you can have your own website. The people, they know what are you doing, they can contact you, they can trust you, and they can give you the money for your research. So very important for all of us now to have some visibility in this research community platform. There are many of them for this. And this is one, again, this is one of them. For example, those who are working in myetoma, they have a platform. And they can rank the people working on myetoma. And they can know what institute working on myetoma, what city, what region, what country, and what impact of this in the myetoma research at this site. Right, why it is important to have funding for our research? There is a lot of opportunities. We can do it by this funding. We can do a good research, high quality. We can improve our labs, good infrastructure in the lab, new equipment, -80, -40, and new sequencers, and this and this. This is from the research grant for supporting our student, graduate, undergraduate, postgraduate. You can have a conferences, you can have a meeting, you can travel. All this can be done by the research grant you can get from there. Right. Again, remember, good research means good funding, and good funding means a good proposal. This is vital. Nobody will give you money like that. A proposal, well written, good collaboration, very clear outcome, expected outcome is very clear, and the objective are very clear. So after that, we can ask for money and funding. And there are a lot of funding bodies asking for us to come and to get the money, simply by having a proposal. And as you know, proposal is a document prepared in response to to a call of one of the funding bodies at this site. So the proposal, it is very important, very essential, and in fact, it is the roadmap of our funding for research at this site. So let us work together on how we can write winning proposals. So this winning proposal can get the funding for our research and activities at this site. As you know, research, it is simply observation. You observe there is something abnormal going here, and then from there you develop an idea, and that should be a bright idea, and then we meet together, we form a consortium, we develop our proposal, and then submit it for peer reviews and assessment and evaluation, and we get. So it is simply, we start by simple observation and idea. Very simple. This is something abnormal. What is the cause? It may be this, and then we start to formulate idea about what is happening there. And we have a life cycle of this. I gave the grand life cycle. It starts with observation, with simple idea, and then the cascade will develop after that. So it is an exercise. It is a training process. The important thing, we should start this process. We should start the training for getting these things at this site. It is not difficult, but the difficult it is when and how we can start the process. So let us together start the process of writing proposals, looking for research grant, and see how we can do that. Right. Confusion is the first step to clarity. And remember, money is there, everything is there, and we need to be out of our confusion at this site. It is a long way to go. It is difficult. It is not an easy to get the funding for research. But remember, you can get 5 million. Just imagine have 5 million at your college. Something change will happen, will change in the college. The college will be something different. And we'll tell you how we can get these 5 million in a minute. You have to pay me, okay? Remember, you have to follow the instruction of the donor, right? But you have to be wise about this. Remember, the rejection rate is very high. But if you catch one, that is it. If you got only one granted per year, you are talking about 5 million per year. If you have 10 teachers, and every teacher have 5 million, at the end you will have 25 million euro per year at the college. And then you can see how the college will develop and this and this. So for this, the college should always have a plan for this. Many of the universities, the colleges, and research centers have what is known as a research grant office. This is mandatory. The job of this person will be looking into the net, all the available grants, to see is it feasible, can apply, the colleague can apply, Ahmed can apply, that can apply, no, this is not applicable. So his job, you pay him at the end of the month just to look for you for where is this grant coming at this site. He will sleep morning, every day, just thinking about where is the grant at this site. Most of the universities, Cambridge, Oxford, have the grant office. That's why they have a lot of money at these people. All right? And very important to remember that why you have to do research. Because our job at the university, at the school, at the research center, it is to produce research. Otherwise, the four legs of the care will be unequal, and that will be a problem in the future. Many researchers at the universities, they have no a permanent job. They have 3-4 years contract. Depending on the grant they had, they can stay or they can leave. Many professors of reputable universities like Oxford, they were sacked because they were not able to get a reasonable funding for the research at the university at this time. The professor in other universities, his main headache, it is to get the funding for the junior staff. Not the junior looking, but the professor and the senior people should look for these young people, grant to make the research and to support them. So very important to know that it is mandatory for the university, for the college to have an office and to be somebody dedicated to get the research funding for it. This is very common. If somebody writing a proposal for research, that will be an emergency situation. He talked to nobody. Day and night he's talking about the proposal, just finished, not finished, prepared, not prepared, and this and this and this. He had a sick, he had a lot of problems, okay? And this is very important because he knows if he got it, he will stay in the job. If he don't got it, then he will be sacked from that job. And that is why you write in your CV the grant you received. That means you are able to get the grant. That means you are a good researcher, a good administrator, okay? And if you apply for research, for grant, they see your CV. And they see the amount of grant you had in the past at this site. If you are a young colleague, then you have to put yourself in contact with those who can help you in getting the grant at this site. Right. Where can we fish it? The internet. Everything is available now. All you need, your laptop, your mobile, and look into what is happening there in the internet. I know most of us, they spend a long time seeing the chats, seeing the WhatsApp, seeing this and this and this, social media and this and this and this. But if we look into this, be part of the research environment at this site. Okay? Okay, during preparing of this presentation, I found a lot of research funding opportunities. For example, this is some time ago, there were more than 265 million hits talking about research funding. Just imagine, $250 million just by hit in less than 1 minute, 35 seconds, I got this. So things are available. We have to look for it and have to get it. There is a lot of directories for this, okay? Here, we in Africa, we had a lot of opportunities. For example, this is 5 scholarship funding opportunity for young researchers. But you need to apply for it. Okay, this is another grant. Okay, and here you find there is a lot of funding organization. A lot. They're uncountable for us. For example, we have the MRC in London, in UK, the Wellcome Trust Foundation, the Melinda and Bill Gates, we have the Sanduq of the Qatar, whatever, cancer research, and a lot. And this is one of the very important funding body called GHED, Global Health innovative technology fund. This is in Japan. They can give us more than 200 billion euros. This is available for them. And they work in developing countries. They are working in neglected tropical diseases. They are working in disease which is not available in the northern and rich countries at this time. So we have opportunities. Eclampsia in tropical regions. The effect of this and this and this. The malaria, whatever you think about it, you can have funding for it at this site. And you can see the amount of the money. I am glad this is one of my young colleagues at the center in Sudan, and his photo, it is on the front page of this funding body. Because we were supported by this funding body, we are giving the fund to do the first ever double-blind clinical trial. In UK, we have the National Institute of Health Research, and again, this is a big funding body in UK. Most of the countries in the developed side of the world, they want to work with people in developing countries like us. Because many of the donors, they want to have a research in collaboration with people in developing countries, trying to improve the quality of life for people, and trying to make them not to go to them there, to stay in their countries and do research at that site. And through this grant, we had a collaboration with Brighton and Sussex University. We managed to have 6 PhD students finish their PhD. So all we need to know where is it and how we can tap this amount of the money for research at this site. And again, you have the Horizon 2020. And that was a big opportunity. Finished last year. They have more than 70 billion euros for research. And the important criteria is to have a collaboration with 1 or 2 of the developing countries, like Sudan, like Somalia, like Kenya, like whatever. They have this. And they were able to give us courses on how to apply for them, training courses. Remember, they came to Sudan once. They organized a 1-day seminar on how just to apply for this funding. So the money is there, but we need to know where is it. That is finished now. Yes, in some funding bodies, you write a note, a small note, a concept note to the funding body, and then if the project to them is sound, is feasible, can be done, they can give you money before the project starts on how you develop your project, your proposal. They can give you money to go to visit people in Somalia to discuss with them the project at this site. So the money is there, opportunity is there, we need to have to know where is it. Right. Now we have Horizon Europe, and this is having a lot of money. Billion and billion. Till 2027. They have more 100 billion euros for research. Different aspect for young researchers, PhD support, whatever, and this, infrastructure, people enduring crisis, researchers having problem, conflict, and this. So they can help a lot in different aspects of this. We have Erasmus Plus. And again, this is very important for the student, undergraduate, postgraduate. The student can apply for them. They can have a scholarship to go for 6 months in Europe for this, and for training of the teachers in the university. And all this available at this Erasmus Plus. This is part of the European Union, part of the European Union initiative at this site. You have, again, a lot of, they can support sport, they can support art, they can support social activities, they can support everything. All you need to know what is the call, what is the objective of the call, and how they can do, how can you apply for this call at this site. Again, remember, we have the Wellcome Trust Foundation in UK. This is one of the biggest funding body in UK. They like to work to make a collaboration between the North and the South, between the South and the South. They want to have a good collaboration with veterinary, with environmental studies, with the medical, with the health, with this and this and this. Wellcome Trust was founded by Henry Wellcome. Henry Wellcome was an American pharmacologist. He moved from the United States, and he stayed for some time in the UK, and then he came to Sudan. And in Sudan in 1903, he established the first ever Wellcome Tropical Research Laboratory in Khartoum. And this is the lab in 1903. You can see how clean the lab was that time. And the lab was based on the Faculty of Science, Department of Physics, at the end of the corridor. That was the lab at this site. And you can see the equipment. People are doing research in Sudan that time. Then in 1909, he established a floating lab. And the floating lab, it was a lab on the Nile. They go all the way to South Sudan, collecting specimens, doing research, seeing patients, doing a lot of activities there. That was donation by him that time. And then he moved to Central Sudan. Now it is almost South Sudan now, Jebel Moya area. And at the top of the hill, he established a lab there. And the lab remnants are still there. And this is one of his staff in the lab in 1917. The lab was built out of the stones, just like this. It is still going on. Now it is one of the archive area at that site. And in 1903, we have the first mobile microbiology lab. And now we have, again in the state, the National Institutes of Health. And again, this is one of the biggest funding body and research centers around the globe, based in the United States. And these people, in the 50s of the last century, they came to Sudan and established a very good collaborative work on the yellow fever. This is a jeep taken by on the train, and this is the fridge, refrigerator working with the gas to store the biological material. That time we have a mobile laboratory attached to the train, and the train will take the lab from different parts of the Sudan, and then they detach it when they reach a destination. They work there. After they finish, they reconnect it to the train and go to another station at this site. So that was the type of research and the facilities available in Sudan that time. Nowadays, you have Bill Gates, and Bill Gates paying a lot of money for research. For example, just for the malaria, they have $1 million per year for malaria research in Africa. 1 million euros for malaria research in Africa. And that is not a big amount of money at that site. In Japan, we have a collaboration with this Japan Agency for Medical Research and Development. And this is our lab at the Myetoma Research Center. And this is one of the Japanese collaborators working with us in our lab as part of the Japan Agency for medical research and development. So this is a collaboration between different countries. We have the African Postgraduate Training Initiative. And this is very interesting. They offer us postgraduate course, full paid for 3 years for our graduates to go to the state to do the research there, paid by a lot of initiative at this site. Bill Gates and other companies. We have the African Academy of Science. They have a lot of money for research. And we have, for example, this body is inventing $72 million to accelerate research in Africa. So there is no excuse not to look for this money and to get it for this. Yeah. This is called a core entities, coalition for research on entities. They are sending us notes. You see what I'm saying here? They are requesting us a new request. Please come and get the money. When we are not responding to the request these people at this site. So we need to respond to this request and to get this money for research. This is called the EDCTV. This is European Developing Countries Clinical Trial Partnership, a lot of money for research, WHO, Direct You for research, the TDR for research, and many of the embassies in the local countries can give grant for PhD. We had from the Swiss embassy, a PhD grant. The French has 2 grants, and the Dutch has grants for PhD and this and this and this. So we need to go and talk to these people. I have a PhD student. I want to take him to this. You want to go on this and this and this. In Sudan, we used to have what is known as NAPTA. This is a joint project between Sudan government and the Embassy of France in Sudan. They give you a small grant to have a mobility grant to go and see people in France, people coming from France to Sudan, and to discuss projects and write proposals together. This is very interesting. This is one of our students. She managed, there is a competition here. She has, the competition it is to give your proposal in 3 minutes in 3 slides, in French or in English language. And she managed to get the first prize, and she was given the prize, and the prize was to go to France for 2 weeks to see what's happening there. This is the Ministry of Higher Education and Scientific Research in Sudan. They have a lot of initiatives to support research, and last year it was about 1 billion Sudanese pounds for the research grants. And this is our Minister of Higher Education at some stage, giving many prizes, award for the best institutes and research for this. So, please note, you can have a collaboration with many centers. CDC Atlanta, Georgia, they would like to work on viral infection, endemic problems. The money is there. All they need a communication, a collaboration between this. CDC had an organizing body for funding. We have this Erasmus Medical Center this is a center for research in Erasmus Medical Center in Netherlands. Through them, we managed to have 5 PhD students without any funding from our side. They have no funding for the research, but that is the leftover money in the lab. Now we have 2 PhD students there. We have no funding for them. They have no funding for, but this is the leftover. باقي الموجود في اللاب عملوا PhD. يعني just imagine, you can see the amount of the money there. And the Dutch are very difficult people to give money, by the way. And this is the CP, and this is UK, and this is the Brighton Sussex University. All these can give you funding for research and to improve that. DNDi. Again, this is a very unique international foundation. They was formed by MSF, was given a Nobel Prize about 10 years, 20 years ago. And the Nobel Prize was dedicated to establish this organization, Drugs for Neglected Diseases Initiative. They have centers from all over the place, center in Nairobi, in UK, in Geneva, in India, in Japan, and the main function it is to go and find fund for you to come and do your research. They will ask Ahmed, you would like to work on myetoma? Okay, write a proposal. We go together and to look for the funding and give him the funding to do the research at this site. Yes. I'm glad through this DNDi, we managed to do the first ever double-blind clinical trial. The trial costed about 7 million euros. 7 million euros went to different partners in Sudan, in Netherlands, in Geneva, in this and this and this. So at the end, we have a good research outcome at this site. Again, this is you can get this for ladies. They can apply for this. This is Women in Science in the UNESCO. And this is one of our young researchers. She got about 10,000 euros prize for being one of the best researchers in Africa that year. So people can apply for this to get the money for research at this site. Right. And here you can see there's a lot of small grants. For example, this is the Royal College of Royal Society of Tropical Medicine and Hygiene in UK. They have a small grant, 5,000. We can write a proposal. We want to work on myetoma in Somalia. I want to have this and this and this. If it's acceptable, they can give you 5,000 to start initiating your projects and this and this and this and this. So the funding is there. Okay? The Arab Federation of Scientific Research can support some of the initiative. And now we have the African Arab Research Collaboration Network. And you sign a contract with us. And then you can have a lot of facilities done through the college at this site. Right. The Myetoma Center, we used to have many scholarship for the training, and we have to have many people coming from West Africa, from East Africa, from Djibouti, for training in myetoma. TCAT. This is Tokyo International Conference for African Development. And again, this is an initiative by the Japanese government, and they give a lot of money for research in African countries. They have a prize, 1 million euro every 3 years for the best research in Africa. And people can apply for this award. In Kenya alone, they have 27 institutes supported by the Japanese government. In Ghana, they have the best center for research in West Africa called Noguchi Memorial Research Center, established in 1971. Now they don't send any specimen outside of that center. They do all sequencing investigation in that center without sending out overseas at this site. And now we can see the Japanese competition with the Chinese. So the Chinese now, they start to send money for research in Africa because they want to compete the French influence in West Africa at this site. So we can get a lot of money. The World Bank, they have a lot of money. This is, again, you can apply for it. The college can apply. They have what is known as centers of excellence. And through through the World Bank and the African Union universities, they supported only in West Africa and Central Africa 44 centers. And every center was given $8 million. Every center. Multiply 8 by 44 in West and Central Africa, just this. Okay? Not North, not East Africa, not South Africa at this side. And many of the centers in these areas, they have a support from this. So you can get 8 million at your institute, support research, young researchers, infrastructures, and improve the quality of the research in the country at this side. This is Lagos University and this. And again, there is a lot of, yes, this is very important. This is called the private-public partnership. Most of the research in South Africa is done through this initiative. For example, they have a problem in one of the factory here. They can approach the university. I would like to have a solution for this. They pay a PhD or a master student to work on this problem, to solve it, and it is a win-win situation. The student have the funding for his research, and the factory has a solution for the problem at this. So let us think about this. Think about the research chair. Think about the community helping in the research in the college at this site. Okay, what is the logistic for this? Very simple. You look for the call, you communicate, form a consortium, proposal writing, meeting, and travel. You have to look for the calls, for the funding bodies. There is a funding body asking for you to apply for a proposal. It will end next month, next May, next year, whatever. So you have to look for this. You have to start the communication with different colleagues. So as you start to think of the research proposal, and then you start to write the proposal after this communication. You communicate with people that can help in doing the good research. This is one of the meetings in the group in Japan for our consortium for our research. And you write the proposal, you do this and this, you know all this process. Sometimes they can give you money to go and meet people from the project itself to write the proposal and then to apply for the proposal. You may not get it, but they give you the money to go to Japan to have the meeting with these people and this. But nowadays with the internet, it is easy to communicate. A lot of travel, a lot of communication, a lot of collaboration at this side. You have to have your own centers for collaboration. You have to build a lot of collaboration. And this is the Myetoma Center. We have more than 23 international funding and collaborating bodies at this site. Ladies and gentlemen, the take-home messages. First, be part of the research environment. The 5 C's. Very important to start the process by be prepared for it. You cannot do that like this. Tomorrow, the deadline. You cannot write the proposal today and send it tomorrow. It cannot be done like this. Sit back, reflect, look where is the funding, and then make a proper proposal like this. You cannot do that. It should be done properly, actively, scientifically, and this and this and this and this. Okay? The most important is to start the initiative, to start the training process. There is a lot of training opportunities on the line, face-to-face, go to the centers, and this and this and this. We need to start at some time, some place for it. Training, and then training again. Training, training, and training again. Right. It is a long way to go. But if you can get 1 million, 7 million, 5 million euros every 2 years, this is fascinating. You don't close your clinic, You don't go for the clinic, don't go for the hospital, and you work for your research, and that is it. You will be very relaxed and doing your research and thinking and this and this and this and this and this. Right. Don't be disappointed. The rejection rate is very high, but you can get it at some stage. Remember, this is a very severe competition. Somebody wants to give you money, but he wants to make sure that the money is spent properly, and a lot of people, they want to get this money as well. So you have to prepare a good document, a good proposal for this. Good collaboration. Remember, nothing is impossible. Everything is possible under the sun. All right? Remove the I am. Be possible at this site. And this is an example. This is a professor of physics at Cambridge University, and Steve Hawking. Stephen Hawking, he was a student at the University of Cambridge. He developed a multiple neuron disease, and he hardly finished his university. Then he started to have more problems. When he finished his PhD, he was completely crippled. And now we can see, cannot walk, cannot handle anything with himself. He's moving on a wheelchair, all right? And he developed problems, had a tracheostomy. He lost his voice. He cannot talk. He cannot move his fingers. And he has a whistle here. And through this, he can communicate through the internet program at this side. He managed to have a Nobel Prize. And he said, however difficult life may seem, there is always something you can do and you can succeed at. And this is an example of this. A teamwork. Let us work together. Let us join forces. Otherwise, working alone, you can end in a problem like this. We are going to lose opportunities, resources, time, and work. We always aim to high prices and awards. As researchers, Nobel Prize should be our aim for having this. Prize in different areas should be our aim of doing this and this and this. Right. Okay. We should improve our researchers' quality at the college. Okay. And you have to know how this grant can be done. Be part of the research. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts. And that mentioned by Winston Churchill. Conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, let us work together as a team, and nothing is impossible under the sun. The conclusion, I'm going to conclude by saying, is it possible or not possible to get the grant for research? Is it possible? Yes, indeed. Indeed it is possible. Let us work together on this. Let us wake up and smell the coffee, and then thank you very much for your kind attention. Thank you. Thank you. Questions?
Just would like to open a question or comment session. So if you have any comment, you have a question, please welcome.
I would like to ask you, you talk about funding opportunities which are available globally. So you started with making CV. So if someone who doesn't have a research CV or research background and willing to get funds, so to buy those opportunities, does he need dealers or he buy directly? Thank you very much.
Yeah, it is. Again, all you need to start to collaborate. You know, there are some people in the state, in whoever, they have a good research, contact them, write an email, have a WhatsApp group with them, and then talk to them about your. A lot of them, they say, okay, I'm not interested. I have no time, not is my area of interest, but you will find at some stage somebody is interested in your work. And then you will work together. If you start to be known in the media, and they will contact you. I know there is problem in Somalia about this and this and this, and I have no contact. So I will contact you because I saw your email there, I saw your website, I saw your ResearchGate, the Google Scholar, so I can contact you and then can work together at this site. It is tough, but eventually the people will come to you. You don't go to them. And then you start to reject, no, I have no time, I'm not busy, I'm busy at this and this and this and this. So it is how to know and to communicate and form a consortium and have the motivation to do the research.
First of all, to thank Allah for giving us also this opportunity to be here. And initially, I want to send my prayers to Sudanese sisters and also. And we are also sending you the heartfelt best wishes and prayers to Sudan. And I would like also to appreciate for the university directors and board members for inviting us and also organizing this event. I can say I have never attended such important event or session that I could get so much benefit on this research. I'm so much interested. From the background of public health in my bachelor's, but my master's was different in the international cooperation and development. I don't have any questions, but just it's a recommendation and also a request to the university board members. This is a great opportunity. I also have that fear that in this room we might lose our attendances due to lack of translation of English. I am not good at English, but also I feel some of my colleagues might lose some of important points that you have talked about today evening. So I would appreciate if we could have an office or maybe a trainings, because you have a lot, the professor has touched on the importance of having trainings. What you are talking about is far beyond the people you have in this room. We have to start from the beginning where people have that grassroots trainings, where they build their skills to develop researches. I think I have been working on proposals and grants for 6 years, but it's not something that people can only take as a takeaway for one session. So I would encourage for the university boards and the professors to establish a center where they can train people more on the research development and developing concepts. So we need more skills on that, including myself, but we need also to have that sessions being organized within the university students. So really, I would appreciate. Thank you so much.
From Sudan, Nahda. Well, it is a comment. This is, I can say, this is a landmark lecture for me, not only just lecture like this. This is a landmark lecture in Arabic. We say it is نقطة تحول. So it is very good opportunity for us in Somalia and Sudan. There are so many diseases. Really, my medical doctorate was, for example, I am chest physician, so it is a chest disease associated with gold mining in Sudan. Really, I didn't find fund for this till I cancel it. Then I go back to our chest disease, all tuberculosis, so asthma, and so. So here in Somalia, we can collaborate. We have make many partnerships in prevention of tuberculosis, asthma, and the most serious one, I am a specialist in smoking cessation in Sudan. So here I want to raise this point in Somalia. Why don't we dig deep in the addiction of gut? Gut is a very big problem in Somalia and associated with both lung and heart and neurological disease, and it associated also with smoking. So now we open and we give you our hands to collaborate together to make coordination with the Ministry of Health or even with the university to dig deep and go more researches in this area. Thank you.
So, thank you for your precious presentation. My question is, who can do research. For example, I'm undergraduate third year medical student, so who can do research? Like if I am in the secondary school, something like that. And my second question is, what is the benefit of those who come from me money to make do research? So that's my two questions I can ask you.
The other thing that we are very happy to organize multiple research courses and training, either face-to-face or online training. We can very happy to do that. I can ask my colleagues to be part of this group, so we can come from time to time to do the courses on how to do a proposal, how to do research, how to do statistics, how to find the best methodology for doing the research. So all this can be done by training. Everything now is done by training. In the past it was by trial and error, by tear and sweat. But nowadays courses are available, free of charge, in the net. So if you have a problem with the sample size, you can go to the net and you can have a video film on how you can calculate your sample size. But we are very happy to come here to this nice country, to nice place, and to do the work with a group of you from time to time at this site. And can be online as well. Okay? So we are very happy to help and support, because this is our job to support our brothers anywhere at this site. Research is important because it is a part of life. Suppose you want to get married, what are you going to do first? What are you going to do? You are going to do a search. This lady, that lady, this one, that one, and this one. And this is the research. So research, it is part of our life. It is not an academic exercise or this and this and this. If you want to have a fight with the director, so you start to do the research. Where's the weak point? Where is this? Where is this? Where is this? So it is a research at this side. So I think what we need that it is to make the research part of our normal life at this side. Everybody has to think about this. I brought this machine from the States. I can get it from Japan. I do a search. And this is the research at this side. I can do laparoscopic appendectomy with this. But through research, you can do it in 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and this and this. So research should be a part of our life, and we are very happy to work with you for development of the research and to write proposals together and to improve the quality of this and this and this. So this presentation will be given to you, and then you can hear with other people here. You can put it at the university website and available for you.
Abdel Fattah from Sudan. I'm Associate Professor of Nursing, Khartoum University and Nahda. I would like to thank Professor Ahmed very much for the nice and fruitful presentation. Also, I would like to thank very much University of Bosaso, Dr. Muhammad Ali, for giving us the opportunity to continue during conflict in Sudan. Thank you very much. I would like to ask about, or Prof. Ahmed, if you give us an advice, if you want to get grant for research, is it better to submit our proposal as individual or individual in institutions or as institutions, which is better?
aad rabtid inaa fan heshid oo researchkaaga fan heshid ma waxay tahay inaa qof ahaan loo gudbiyo mise hal institution yani hal jaamacada mise in dhowr jaamacadood ay hal mar wada gudbistaan macnaha?
As a group, individual persons have a very minimum chance to get a grant of this. If the grant is between 2 universities, between 2 countries, between different groups, the chance is higher. Because the main aim of this grant, it is to start the collaboration and to have the consortium formed, and then they can work together in the future. So I think very important to have the consortium, very important to work as a group, very important to have a teamwork and work through the team, this and this and this. And that is why you have these meetings. As I mentioned, they can pay you for go to other country for a meeting. just to meet people there, talk to them, and know how to do some this and this and this. Individual grants, very difficult.
Presentation. Actually, I have a number of questions. The first one, definitely here in this part of the world, we are lagging behind in comparison with the Western world. So, how can we bridge this great gap? And what are the roles which might be played by universities in bridging this gap? This is the first question. Second question about donation. In the West there, one of the sources for getting or for building their budget for research is through donation. In this part of the world, actually, this is not seen here. Do you have in Sudan, or in my Sudan center in particular, do you have any, experience with donation for researches? This is the second question. The third one, for these funding authorities in the West, are they just interested in funding the clinical problems or clinical illnesses which are mainly prevalent in the tropics or in the third world in Africa, for example, or they can fund whatsoever topics or researches, even if they are not just confined to this region?
To reach what they had done in the Western part. But let us start. Let us see what they did. Let us work in the way they did in the past. Okay? Let us collaborate with them, but with equal shoulder. I can work with somebody in the state, but with equal shoulder. He have the technology, he have the money, but I have the specimens. I have the biological material at this site. I have the disease which is not available there. So equal shoulder, working together, good collaboration together can be done at this site. Very important to make the research culture around. We are thanking the university for giving us a meeting like this, for allowing us to see a lot of young people here. They want to do a research on this side. Research is not a difficult problem. The difficult it is to be part of the research environment, to think about research all the time. I know people that are very busy doing a lot of work, having a clinic, having surgery, having patients, but remember that will not going to last. You can do thousands or thousands of operations, but after you retire, nobody will remember you. But your paper will remember you, people will remember you with your paper on this side. Your publication will make people remember you of doing this and this. And you know, surgeons, they did thousands and thousands of operations. Nobody remembered them now. Unless those who wrote the procedures and this and this and this and this and this and this. So let us be part of the research environment. Let us work together, and let us have a very objective, structured training program for this. For donation, yes, you can get somebody who can help you in giving a donation. Somebody will help you in establish a center, for example. Somebody will help you to buy a new machine. So all these are donation. In the Western countries, the companies, they pay a lot of money, and that is deducted from their annual taxes. So whenever you pay money for donation, it will not be counted in the taxes. And this is the way they can support research and this. But in our world, a lot of people, a lot of government, they want people just to pay the money and to the government and this and this. But there's a lot of kind people, donation and this and this. For example, Wellcome Trust, Horizon, they have billion and billion of euros. One of the important criteria is to have 2 European countries and 3 African or underdeveloped countries. And they work together in something available in our environment. They have something called Access Africa. Again, all this work should be done in African countries. For example, now we have a call in Germany, and the criteria is to have a student from African countries to go to the Germany to do the research there. So it depends on this. some of them, they want people here in Africa not come to Europe and make noise there. So that may be one of the reasons that they want people to stay here and listen to this. But many universities, many centers, they want help the people in developing countries to develop their research and this and this.